That flipper wasn't working, but it seems like the transport just snipped the wire there to the coil. Happens often. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So we got Buffalo, we got Atlanta, we got Dallas. What else we got? Seattle. Wow. Cool. How was the flight? How long is the flight from there? 4. That's not terrible. Not terrible. Yeah. So, whenever. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So thanks everybody for coming. This is really about providing you with some competitive pricing when you want to ship a pinball machine. And I started shipping machines about 25, 30 years ago. And because I reside in Montreal, Canada, I also got a lot of experience shipping cross-border with customs. So, and then I realized that the word freight, when you take the E out of it, the word spells fright. And so consequently, I found out that was true for a lot of people because they had, no idea how to ship a machine, or they wouldn't buy the machine they wanted because they're afraid of shipping, or they have a $12,000 Willy Wonka and they're not going to put it in shipping ever, cash on the glass only. So I said, what if we were to create a portal that allowed the pinball community to benefit from really good competitive pricing? We partnered up with a brokerage company that has been in business 50 years. They have online chat for support. We partnered up with them, which means you can buy a machine that's either in Canada or shipped to and from southbound or northbound shipments, as they call them, and just kind of put all the tools that you need to go from A to Z and get the machine that you want and not let shipping become an obstacle. So, and we want to demystify the shipping process. And it's convoluted. It can be complicated, but if you do business with us, you're doing business with a pinhead who loves machines, who's going to follow your shipment from beginning to end. If it gets stuck in a terminal somewhere for 5 days, we'll call the terminal and say, this shipment isn't moving. What's going on there? And especially in the last couple of years, drivers were missing. The transport industry is really turned inside out. There's no drivers. So it's become even more important to have somebody that knows what they're doing when you're shipping something. Know what all the processes involved are so that we can take you by the hand and get the machine that you want delivered to your home. So we don't offer white glove service. I mean, we don't go to pick up your machine in your home and break it down. We can hire third parties for you to do that. Typically, we also show you how you can pallet your machine, and it really only takes about 25 minutes to break down a machine and put it on a pallet. It's not that complicated. If you can do that in your home, we can pick up the machine from your home. But what I want to do now is just run this movie I did on my phone, which will just show you how simple it is to get a real-time quote. So one of the biggest benefits of doing business with ShipMyPinball, not only that will guide you from A to Z. One of the biggest benefits is that you can get the real-time quote without having given any information to the company. So real-time quote means I don't have to give you any information about who I am. If I want to buy a machine that's in Beverly Hills and I'm in Montreal, Canada, before I buy that machine, I want to know how much is it going to cost me. Obviously, if it's going to cost me $850, I may decide not to buy it. But the point is, I need to know what that cost is. So I explain all of that in the video here. This is something I did on my phone live to get a quote. And what I mean by real-time quote is that you'll get, I guess some people consider us the Expedia of shipping because we'll go and fetch the best price. We'll populate 2 of the largest companies that ship pinballs. So we do business with YRC Freight, which is now a premier North American shipper. They bought out Yellow, they bought out Holland, USF Holland, they bought out, in the last 10 years, they bought up about 4 or 5 companies. And the second company we do business with is T-Force Freight, which just bought out UPS Freight, this huge company, and they have a tremendous network. So both companies are premier companies and offer an excellent service, and that's why we do business with them. In terms of modifying and enhancing our website, it's your website. We're modifying it and processing, your requests as time goes on. We are improving the website. We also have the ability to, we're going to have the ability shortly to have multiple pallets shipped at the same time. That's something we don't currently offer. But like I said, let me run this short 9-minute movie here because it's only a 30-minute presentation, and then after the presentation, we could take a few questions if there's some time. If we run out of time, then I suggest you come see us at our booth. There's a nice Hot Wheel pinball machine there by a great company called American Pinball, and we'll be happy to entertain you there and answer any other shipping questions that you might have. I'm just going to answer this one question right away in terms of insurance, because that's probably the most popular question and deterrent for people not shipping pinball machines. They're afraid it's going to get damaged, and so they won't ship it. So not only do we educate you on how to pallet your machine so that it doesn't get damaged, we're basically offering insurance way below the cost of what insurance would cost you if you bought it with the freight company. So, for example, $5,000 insurance on a freight company like YRC would be well over $500 that you would have to buy in addition to the shipping. Okay, so we're offering it to you at $12 per $1,000. So a $10,000 machine can be fully insured for its value for $120. All right, and that's an add-on because we have a policy rider that goes and covers you. So that's an important one, and that's one of the main reasons why people don't ship. And so, again, we walk you through the whole process, including how to properly pallet the machine so it limits the damage, it mitigates the damage that you might have in shipping. So I'm going to run this movie. It was a movie I did a little while ago because I didn't have internet here, so I'm going to just go ahead and let the video do the talking.
Hey everybody, welcome to ShipMyPinball.com, where you can get a real-time quote instantly. So what that means for you is that when you're looking to purchase a pinball, let's see, what the scenario is usually is that you see a great deal online and you want to buy the pinball, but you really don't know, A, how much it's going to cost to get it to you, and B, if you're living in Canada and you need to cross the border, you're not familiar with customs and duties, processes, and so you end up not purchasing an item that you want to purchase because you don't have the tools in order to be able to do it. So what ShipMyPinball.com will do is it'll provide you with a real-time quote, an exact cost of what it would cost you to ship that machine to you, and you have that at your fingertips. You don't even have to be a registered customer. Anybody can come to ShipMyPinball.com, click Get a Real-Time Quote, click on North America, as I'm doing right now. Enter their zip code. So I'm in Montreal, and my zip code is H9G3 Charlie 5. It's a suburb of Montreal, and it's called Dollar des Ormeaux. And if I click Next, I want to ship to 90210. So somebody wants to buy my pinball machine. They're in California. So let's say I'm the guy in California and I don't know how much it's going to cost me. I want to know that machine's going to be gone in the next hour. So I don't want to wait to call somebody in the morning to get a quote. So ShipMyPinball will give you that quote in real time. So now I'm clicking on terminal to terminal because that's the cheapest quote, right? I don't want business dock or I don't want a residential lift gate. Those are all extra fees. So if I click Next, it's very crucial to the quote. I need to know the exact pallet size. I put a 30 by 30 pallet as a standard size because that's your standard stern pallet size, standard pinball size. The standard weight is also 285 pounds for a classic pinball machine. I think it's 350 for a newer one. If you don't know, or if you have a different size pallet, you can also add it manually here. For the sake of this demo, let's say we're shipping on a stern pallet that weighs 285 pounds. It's a pinball machine. It's a good idea to maybe add if it's a Bally, and then if it's let's say it's a Bally, spares and strikes. Just so we have the name of what is shipping, especially if you're cross-bordering, it's good to have a little bit more idea on the item you're shipping. Then I can select a date in which I'm going to drop off the freight. Remember that ShipMyPinball is getting you the most competitive price from two of the largest shipping companies in the world, right? That's what you're getting. You're not getting a shipping service where we're going to pallet it for you. It's actually something that you need to do yourself. It's a self-serve product. So I'm going to pick on Friday. I'm going to drop it off on the 29th. I'm going to click OK. I'm actually logged into the website. If I wouldn't be logged in, then it would ask me to register if I didn't have a login. So what did I just do? I just generated the real-time quote. It takes less than a minute to do. So now I know that I can purchase that machine because guess what? T-Force Freight is allowing me to ship that machine from Montreal into the U.S. to California for $363. That's an amazing price. So I can change the dates if I want for pickups, but the point being is that now that I've seen that I've got a real-time quote, I know it's going to cost me $363 plus customs entry fees as well. So that's something that we also provide. So if you want to use ShipMyPinball's third-party company, we have very good pricing, under $100 to do the customs clearance work for you, which is an added value. So for $463.94, you're shipping a machine, a pinball machine, from coast to coast. With fuel surcharges being what they are today, that's a phenomenal price. So in order for me to conclude the sale, I would click on select on the freight company that I wanted to use. If I'm not logged in, I would have to log in, obviously, or register my name. And only now do I enter all of the information that is required in order to conclude the sale. And then I would enter all of the information. So the ship from location, I'm just putting test here because for demo purposes, you click next and then it'll ask you to where the ship to location will be. So you enter all of that information. And once that information is entered, you click next. Once you click next, you will be directed to the payment PayPal. Complete your payment. You'll click and you're directed to PayPal. Once you're in PayPal, you see the $363 are there. You click Pay Now. You scroll down, you click Pay Now on PayPal. And all of this is being done on my mobile. Obviously, I was already logged in to PayPal, and PayPal recognizes me. But the important thing is, if PayPal doesn't return you to our merchant site, you have to click Return to Merchant. And then you'll be redirected back to ShipMyPinball. Now, obviously, you're going from Montreal to California. You want a customs clearance. So if you want customs clearance, you'll click yes. And then they'll ask you, is your freight shipping southbound from Canada to the U.S.? In this case, it is. So then you have to click on that link. If it was going from California to Canada, you would click the link below. So you click on that link, and welcome to Clear It USA, who is the customs brokers that we partnered up with in order to give you some really great pricing. Under $100, you can clear your shipment. If you already have an account with Clear It USA, then you can log in and start, filling up the form for this particular shipment. Or you can click the Get Started button right there, and that'll get you started. To go back to ShipMyPinball, you just click on that, and that brings you back to your order. And then if you go to Order Page, Order History, it shows you the order we've just done has been concluded. There, Mr. Test, going to California. And so now that I've paid for the order, what did I pay for? Well, I've paid for a prepaid shipping label, very much like you do for UPS labels when you go online and you generate a prepaid label to stick it on your box. It only becomes effective, of course, once you make the shipment or drop the shipment at the terminal. So if I go to my emails now, I will see in my emails that T-Force Freight has sent me the bill of lading and the shipping label for the items I've just paid for. So if I open up the bill of lading, and there it is. There's my prepaid bill of lading. There's a 30 by 30 freight, Mr. Test from Dollard, shipping to Beverly Hills, and all of the details of the shipment are on there. And if we go back, we also see and click on labels, we also see that we have 4 shipping labels. They're all the same labels. There's 4 of them so that you can affix one on each side of the freight. And that makes it easier for the freight companies to scan it when it comes through their terminals. So that's what you've just paid the $363 for. If you're going to ship the freight, remember that you need to pallet the freight. If you don't have a pallet, it's pretty simple to do. You stick the pinball in your SUV and then you drive it to the terminal and they'll get a pallet there for you. But keep in mind, you need to know what the pallet size is in order for you to be able to generate the quote. So it's a good idea sometimes to have the pallet beforehand so you can measure it, so you can have the right quote. But if you guys, we'll be posting these videos, how-to videos, onto our website shortly. And if you have any more questions, you can email ShipMyPinball@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can call us at 438-558-9137. Thank you so much.
All right. So it really doesn't take much time to go from get a real-time quote. Takes, I would say, maybe 30 seconds. Now I'm connected to the internet live here. I don't know how choppy the connection is, but it looks like it's a bit slow because I'm streaming it off a hotspot on my phone. But essentially, I've added since that video, I've added a zip code finder. So if you don't know the actual zip code, you can actually look it up here. But essentially, I'm not logged in here. And whatever zip code, 902110, and this is how I'm repeating the processes because I think it's important that you guys see that you don't need to give us any information in order for you. Yeah, this is a very slow internet connection off my phone here, but the purpose of the video is to show you that you can get competitive pricing. So in terms of your pallets, it's good to know what size pallets you have before you create. The reason we give you a competitive price is because we're using dimensional freight quote. We're not using class quote. That's why we can be so competitive. So that's the key. The key is getting a smaller pallet so it takes up less space on the truck, right? So you're buying space on a truck, the less space you use, the less money you're gonna have to pay out, and it's a commodity. Fuel surcharges are changing every day. We never know what it's gonna be. That's why it's good to have a live quote. You're gonna know today that that quote is real time. You're not gonna email somebody who's gonna get you a price and in 5 days the price is gonna change, right? You can lock in your quote by purchasing. What you're purchasing is a bill of lading and a shipping label that you can affix. What you're also getting, in addition to that, you're getting somebody who has a love for pinball, who's gonna help you and track your shipment from A to Z and help you avoid the standard pitfalls. And those are some of the reasons why I think it's a benefit to do business with a company that's gonna care about your shipment from beginning to end. So having said all that, is there anything I'm leaving out? I don't know, but I think, how much time have we got? We've got 10 minutes? That's pretty good timing. So I'll take a few questions if you guys have some. Yeah.
Okay, so when you drop your machine off on the pallet at the terminal to be shipped, and then you go to the cell phone guys, what shipping materials do items bring to make sure it's wrapped, shrink wrap, all that stuff while I'm there?
Yeah. Great question. Thank you for that. So you need shrink wrap, which you can get on Amazon for $23. You need polypropylene strapping or a ratchet strap. I like to buy the box of polypropylene strapping. It lasts me for a year, or at least 6 months, unless I'm shipping like a machine every day. And that's pretty easy. We're gonna have videos on the website, how to use the polypropylene strapping, how to use a proper ratchet strap, how to ratchet strap a pinball, how to create the pinball, how to put the cardboard around the pinball, how to, we just discovered, what do they call them, those, in the pool, you use them, foamy things. Yeah, so I started putting that around the machines on the top and on the bottom so the freight doesn't rub up against other freight, and it's done wonders. Little tricks like that will give you, that will help you avoid problems. Like I said, the insurance is got you covered. Is there any other questions? Yes. So, as I said before, there's drivers missing, and first of all, sometimes you can ship a machine accelerated freight. It depends which type of freight you're choosing. But assuming it's standard freight, typically it's 5 business days. And that's if there's no weekend involved. The weekends, they don't. I mean, if a truck leaves Buffalo tonight with a machine in it, it's going to come to Montreal in 24 hours. So it's traveling. But if you drop off a machine at a terminal, and these are other little tips that we'll give you, if you're dropping it off Friday night, it's not moving till Monday. They haven't loaded, and the trucks leave at 10 o'clock. Other little tips I can give you is, when you go get your pinball at the terminal, don't go between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's when they're unloading trailers, right? So these are all the little things that are key. So go between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. That's when they have nothing to do. All the trailers have been unloaded, and they'll be happy to help you. Incidentally, getting back to your strapping question, if you get to the terminal, I would say more than 50% of the terminals have banding, steel banding machines. And if you don't have any pallets, you can always take a ride to your local YRC freight terminal. They'll be happy to give you a pallet. Tell them, hey, I got a shipment I'm going to ship with you tonight. Here's my bill of lading. I just need a pallet. I need a pallet that's no bigger than the size. That's the other thing you guys have to recognize, that if you need to be 1,000% sure what the size of your pallet is before it goes. Otherwise, you're going to get dinged for the extra fees. 30 by 30 is your 30. Well, go 31 by 31 is a standard stern pallet size, which is really, really good. Now, if you're shipping something a little bit more expensive, I would recommend you go with a 40 by 40. That would be helpful. Any other questions? Yep.
How much of a difference does using terminal to terminal make, and is there any price advantages of buying like 2 games on the same shipment instead of having?
Yes, great question. So yes, because yes, it makes a big difference. So two or three pinballs in one shipment. Number one, you're saving on fuel surcharge. Number two, you're saving on dimensional freight quote sizes. So yes, because there's a base fee that's offered to every shipment. So even if I'm just going Montreal to Plattsburgh, the base rate is $169. So if I have 3 machines, I'll probably pay like less than $300 for Montreal. But if I have 1 machine, I'm still going to be paying somewhere like $250. So the answer to that question is yes, it makes a big difference. It's a lot more cost effective. I personally, myself, never ship under 2 machines every shipment, only because there's a huge cost savings. So yeah, great question. Anybody else?
That terminal, how much of a difference does make terminal to terminal versus?
Yeah, big difference. So you're saving, I would say, anywhere from $100 to $125 US. So liftgate fees are, the base liftgate fee just for the liftgate is $75. And if you're going into a commercial area, that means they have to hire a third-party smaller truck, because the 18-wheelers aren't allowed in residential areas, which means they have to call a subcontractor. That's an additional $65 to $75. So right off the bat, if you're going to have a pallet picked up from your home, before you even get a quote, it's $135. You can count on that. So that's a good guideline, for what it's going to cost you. But again, I hope that you all recognize that this is a tool for the pinball community. We didn't create the site to become millionaires. We have a love a passion for the hobby, and we'll be happy to help you get the machine that you need. And feel free to call us anytime. I invite you all to just get on your phones, go to ShipMyPinball.com, and do a real-time quote. You don't have to register in order to get a price of what it'll cost. So next time you're standing in front of a machine and you're tempted to buy it, but you don't know how much it's going to cost you, go to ShipMyPinball.com, enter the ship to zip code, the ship from, and you're going to get a quote automatically without giving us any information at all. So that's key for you guys. So any other questions before we conclude? Yeah. Come see us at our booth. We have a Hot Wheels. I figured the wheels and the shipping kind of theme was kind of pretty cool. And so thank you all for having a listen, and it'll be our pleasure to serve you next time you give us a call. Thank you. And thanks to Leon and to Ed and all the people involved with keeping this tournament going, because it has been a challenge to keep it alive. And I almost forgot to say thanks to the whole team of people that are responsible for this. So thank you, guys.